Hi there, my name is Neta Gordon. I'm a professor in the Department of English Language and Literature. I've been at Brock University for almost 20 years now. And I'm the Associate Dean Undergraduate for the Faculty of Humanities. And I'm going to do yet another welcome here. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk a little bit about the way the faculty is organized in terms of the different programs and departments and centers that we have in the Faculty of Humanities. I'm going to introduce you to the academic advisors. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about, just give you a few tips for what I think is important to think about in these next few weeks as you start your academic journey. I wanted to give you an overview of the Faculty of Humanities. So within our faculty, we have a number of different departments and centers and programs, and together we're all sort of trying to investigate the question of what it means to be human, right? What kinds of cultures and histories and objects, beautiful, artistic, creative, cultural objects have humans produced, right? Languages, literatures, that's kind of our common interest. But we do that in a number of different ways. And so we have these different programs and centers. So the first program is the General Humanities program. And there's I've produced a separate little introduction to that. So for those of you who are in the General Humanities program, move from here into that link. Then we have the departments, right? So we have a list of departments and you'll see it up there. And the departments have grown over sort of long histories of disciplines. And they generally have a specific subject that they focus on and a specific set of methodologies that they make use of. And within each of those departments, there are a number of different programs, right? So for those of you who are in any of those programs, you'll see links to a contact person or an activity being run by the department, and you'll get to know the kinds of programs that are offered by your department. We also have in the Faculty of Humanities, we have centers, and centers are defined by their interdisciplinarity, right? So you have the centers listed there. And so what we mean by that is that there's courses in those centers, the programs offered by those centers that are housed in different departments, right? So that you're looking at sort of an idea, Canadian studies, medieval and Renaissance studies, digital humanities, studies of arts and culture. You're looking at those ideas from a number of different perspectives with using a number of different methodologies. So those are why we call those units centers rather than departments, because they're very interdisciplinary. The last category I have there, because it's really unique to Brock University and to our Faculty of Humanities, and we really have a lot of affection for this space, is the Marilyn I. Walker School of Fine and Performing Arts, which houses 3 departments and 1 center. And again, it's this idea that the departments sort of grown over time and they have a very sort of particular disciplinary focus, and then STAC, Studies in Arts and Culture, makes use of all of that and actually makes use of methodologies from main campus as well. So that's the way the faculty is organized. And as you can see in this slide, there's a number of different programs associated with all of the different academic units. And you don't have to know exactly where you want to end up today. Okay, I should tell you that I changed my major 3 times during my undergrad, and that's absolutely fine. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is who to talk to when you want to think about how you're progressing with your particular program, with your major, and also if you want to switch, okay? So on this extremely crowded slide, you'll be introduced to Liz Hay and Mike Gicante, who are the 2 academic advisors for the Faculty of Humanities, and you'll see kind of the lists of programs that they deal with. But if you don't know who to talk to, just ask one of them, and if they think you should be talking to the other, they communicate all the time, and they're incredibly helpful. And so these are the people to talk to. You should really be talking to an academic advisor about once a year. Just making an appointment with them, going over with them via email or over the phone or eventually in person to make sure you're on track for your program requirements, and also to see if you want to make a switch in terms of the program that you're in, if you want to add a minor, if you're thinking about maybe a co-major, which are really interesting, where you want to maybe do a double major in one subject and another subject. So these are the people to talk to. I wanted to end this morning's little chat by talking about 3 things. The first is academic integrity. The second is the idea of active learning, and the third is embracing challenges. So let's get the first thing out of the way quickly. Academic integrity is taken very, very seriously at this university, and I'm sure I'm not the first person who have mentioned those words. But if I am, you're going to see a link on this slide to A to Z Learning, they do tons and tons of workshops on what academic integrity is, and maybe I'll also put in the link just to what academic integrity policy for the university is. And I have a special interest in this because if you commit academic misconduct or alleged to commit academic misconduct, it's eventually going to come across my desk, and I don't want to see any of that. So we take it seriously, and you should know that your work, your original voice, the labor you put into your writing and your research and your creative output is really important to us. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is active learning. And this is, I'm going to deal with this a little bit differently than I usually do, because I usually talk a bit about not hanging back at the back of a lecture hall or making sure that your voice is heard in seminar. And on the one hand, we're in a completely new situation here, but on the other hand, we're not. To some extent, I think it might be easier for some people who are shy or who just don't understand this new university space to engage actively more quickly, because they're not walking into a lecture hall with like 300, 500 people in it, right? All of a sudden, you're in your own space where you feel comfortable, and you can engage with the course material and your peers and your instructors and your TAs within your own space. So I think that that might be a good thing for some people. I do have a couple of pieces of advice. Piece of advice number one is to get on a really, really good, healthy schedule for you. So a key to active learning is consistent learning, okay? And so, and in fact, that relates back to academic integrity, because I would say like 80% of the cases I get of academic misconduct occur because someone ran out of time, right? They were up against a deadline, they didn't have things done, and that's when they cheated. Okay, so for active learning, it's really, really important to get yourself on a good, healthy, consistent schedule. Wake up at the same time, eat well, and do your work. And do your work ahead of time. Try to anticipate what's going on. Come into your forums discussions or get ready for your lecture slides with the reading already completed. It's really important to kind of be able to engage in an intellectual dialogue with the material that you're being introduced to. And the best way to do that is to read ahead of time. And in terms of forums and in terms of chat rooms and etherpads and all the other ways in which instructors have created ways for you to participate, get in there, make your voice heard. It's really important to sort of get off on the right foot with asking questions, posing challenges, even just giving really good feedback to your peers, even agreeing with someone, that's lovely, or disagreeing, right? All of that stuff is really important to kind of get used to, because as soon as you make it a habit, then you get into this idea that in a university, we're a community of learners, we're a community of researchers, right? And you guys are just junior members of that community, and we want to hear what you have to say. So the third thing that I wanted to mention, and then I'll let you go onto various other things, is this idea of embracing challenges. And here I'm not talking about this challenge where I'm talking to you on a screen rather than in person. I'm talking about the fact that you're going to be introduced to new concepts, new methodologies, new assignments, new ways of doing work, and hopefully new ways of thinking, right? And that's challenging. And you should not be afraid of that. That's the point of university. And you should lean into those challenges. You should accept that, yeah, some things are going to seem really hard and really different. And that's the point. That's the entire point, right? And so you should ask questions, and you should try to get in there and understand what kinds of things are being asked of you. And you should enjoy it, right? Take pleasure in those challenges, because that's the kind of work that we want to be doing at the university. Unlike high school, we're not working with a curriculum that is defined elsewhere. We are the curriculum, right? That doesn't mean that your courses don't have really, really specific guidelines and that the disciplines don't have expectations. Of course, we have all of that. But you know who changes that? We do, right? This community of researchers, this community of learners, and that's what we are inviting you to be part of. We want you to change our thinking, right? We want you to ask us the difficult questions, right? And that's what I mean by embracing challenges. If you're feeling that it's hard, if you're feeling that you're being asked to think about things or produce the kinds of work you've never been asked for before, to research at a level that you've never been asked to before, congratulations, you're in university now, okay? I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see some of you in person very, very soon. Bye.